for the platform. So I am still the primary, I guess, and there's no like socially necessary use value to streaming technically, but like if we are to consider entertainment as like an important good, I guess, or a commodity that we're producing, even though it's not like a chair in the chair factory or whatever, if we were to consider our output as work, without me clicking the start streaming button every day, there is no value generated. Someone else might take my place, right? Someone else might take my place. Someone could become the person that is at the crosshairs, right?
Yes.
Someone could do that. Someone could easily do what I do. It's easily replicable in my opinion. But if there was more worker power, if there was more worker organizing, okay, if workers had more of a say on the platform that they are generating value for, we could put certain safeguard measures to stop the platform from saying, you're just replaceable. Now, this is called collective action, okay?
Well, that would remove the competition then. And then the content would become worse, and the viewers would get less of what they want.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that no, because the NBA player union exists, and yet I don't think you would say that there are better basketball players out there on the universe. You think that there are better basketball players out there that are somehow being stopped from participating in the NBA?
Behind nepotism?
Well,
Absolutely.
possibly.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, possibly, yes. But that's, you continue your argument. I don't think, like,
the
NFL,
the NBA, no matter how rigged it is, Omega Lol, degenerate sports gambler Andes, is still one of the most meritocratic processes that you can get to, okay? It's still about skill. It's still to a certain level about how much you put in, how hard you work, and about the skill, okay? Even if it's scripted, like sports gambler Andy's say. It's just
sports
true.
Betting is so rigged. Sports betting is so rigged. Holy
yes, sports betting is so rigged from what I understand, and I talked about this in the video if you watch Train.
That shit's wild, bro.
They will cap you if you are actually fucking like leveraging your bets. If you're actually betting too good, they will literally stop you from betting. They put a limit. They inhibit the amount that you can bet. It's not rigged necessarily, but like it implies that, there are people who could technically win a lot of money. And they still limit it. Okay. Anyway.
I think, listen. I think where you and I just disagree, right, is just the action versus the words. That's where we disagree. That's it, right? As far as where we come down that, is that enough to put a wedge between you and I's friendship or possibility of friendship, right?
No, I don't think so. I just don't want you to I just don't want you to keep saying that I'm like a hypocritical piece of shit. If you think that, then why would you want to be friends with me? You know what I mean?
Well, if you genuinely, right, like it comes down to what you're, right, if you know what you're doing and you're purposely, intentionally doing it, then that's when I wouldn't be friends with you. But if this is just your belief, right? If this is the socialism you believe in, and you're acting consistently with that, I can be friends with you even if I disagree with that interpretation of socialism, right?
I think he does believe that. That's why I wanted you guys to talk to me.
Like if that's what you believe in,
okay,
you believe in that, right?
Also, we didn't
You're
even get to the bottom of the socialism thing and why it conflicts.
It
sucks.
The hell out of me, bro. Oh my god.
Socialism sucks. Is that what you said?
I think it sucks. I think people have tried it and they failed.
I think you need in between. That's the problem. Listen,
I think the worker sucks because the worker is stupid because the population is stupid. I think people are dumb as bricks. People shouldn't have a say because the people are fucking dumb.
I think people are dumb. You and I had a conversation a long time ago, Felix, about how you were forklift certified and you worked in fucking janitorial duty.
They sleep in the lockers.
But you figured out a way to min-max your sanitation duties, right? You remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you figured out a way to min-max your sanitation duties even though you are Pepega Andy himself. Why? Because through repetition, you figured out the perfect solutions that the manager is never going to know. These are some very meaningful ways in which workers could have a little bit more autonomy in their lives. Now, unfortunately, in a capitalist organization, a corporation decides, oh, you're more efficient. We're just going to fucking now make you do that regardless and pay you the same money.
Okay, yeah, but bro, people would sleep in the lockers, right? On their shifts. And then I would pass nearby, and they were all sleeping in the dark. And they would say, oh man, why the fuck would I go, man? We're unionized. I can't get fired. And I didn't give a fuck. And I thought that fucking bricked my brain forever. When I skimmed the contact with this practice, I thought, holy fuck, this is so brain dead. Now at that point, I got corrupted. I got to thinking that it doesn't matter how good of a system you could put it in, humans will always find ways to crash it for self-benefit and smoke them out, and they will never act because the humans are inherently a dumb species. I'm dumb. I think we're all dumb. I'm all dumb.
Human beings are dumb, yes. You know, here's the thing though. You worked at a factory or a facility, right?
Guys, this is why we need
and
to.
You want to know who made the most money in that situation? It wasn't the fucking janitor that was sleeping. Every now and then he honks shoes and me's a little bit, okay? Yeah, and that's fine on the job. And that's seen as stealing.
This is why we need to push systems, Hassan.
Okay, but hold on. Let me just say something. So that is seen as stealing from the boss. That you're sleeping on the company time. Meanwhile, it is never expected of the boss to even enter the fucking factory floor ever to push a cart or
because
to clean a fucking toilet.
He built it. He deserves it.
Exactly. I don't agree. I don't agree because without someone cleaning the fucking floors, without someone actually pushing the carts, he's not going to make any goddamn money. That is the main point of contention that I have with a lot of people. Personally, believe that that people that build these factories deserve to take everything they can off of their profits, which is why, and by the way, even if you disagree with me, that is socialism. The idea that the surplus labor value that they are extracting from you is something that should at least be democratically organized. As a workforce, you should be able to say, hey man, the janitorial staff need new mops. You know, our mops are in fucking a dire state here, you know? Instead of giving that money to faceless shareholders at the tippy top who didn't even build the fucking factory. Also, workers built the factory. Remember that. It's not the fucking bosses. They never put the bricks down to build that goddamn factory. They just had money. They just had capital, upfront money to build the factory. But ultimately,
worst example. What about the people who take a risk, who put into them their money and take a risk? They have an idea. I'm gonna make this for. Even though the carrot on the stick, right? The carrot at the end of the stick is profit and luxury and the good life. They still do things that they can risk, and they balls deep to get there, right? And that's what makes the things that are grandiose. And what about all the countries that have these systems, right? Where nobody's rewarded for going higher. What do? Nothing.
That's really interesting. That's interesting you say that because you're wrong.
Lazy as fuck.
You're wrong. Literally, fucking a closer system to a social democracy that has like higher levels of socialization and higher tax rates has more billionaires per capita than the United States of America. So you're objectively wrong on that front. Not only that, but also European social democracies routinely lap the United States of America in innovation. So you're wrong on that front as well. The idea that the boss took a risk always forgets that the worker is also taking a risk. And the funniest part about the biggest, as a whisk, like a wabbit, a silly wabbit. You want to know what the fucking biggest risk that the factory owner has though? Is to be relegated to being a worker again. Because when you lose all your money in a fucking business, they don't put you in jail. They don't fucking kill you. They don't kill your family. They don't do any of those things. You just have to go back to fucking work and be a worker one more time. And the bosses fucking know that they never treat the workers well, which is why that is the major reason as to why they never want to fucking default. And that's why they constantly advocate for the system that they set in place.
So by the way,
fair enough. What's up?
On a more joking note, even ChatGPT agrees with me on the Gordon Ramsay event.
I saw that. I asked ChatGPT and I showed Chat the answer. I think actually somebody fed to me.
Continue. Yeah.
Regardless.
Anyway, there's also plenty of safeguards with respect to owners. Whenever they do default, there's, Chapter 11 bankruptcy in numerous ways that capital owners can at the very least continue living their lives in a comfortable way. No such safeguard measures, comparable safeguard measures are ever afforded to the worker. You have to if you get downsized in a company, 400 Twitch employees were laid off today. Some of them don't even fucking know if they've been laid off or not. Okay? They might get a severance package that is entirely up to Amazon.
They should know.
that is
They're garbage.
no, that is entirely dependent on Amazon to make that decision. They suck, they're good, none of that fucking matters. It is outside of their control, and that's the point. Okay?
Okay.
And
okay.
and basically what happens.
I'm not being an asshole. I generally think that when you know you are creating value, when you know you're doing good and you're rolling, dude, the company sees your value and you're hard to let go of. If you're fucking useless and you don't do shit, you get clapped. Of course you do.
No, whoever they consider to be replaceable, even though their work is fucking meaningful, but it's menial, will often be the people that they replace. And also, there's so much nepotism that operates within these fields as well. I know it's funny me saying that, but there's usually people that the managers like, because there are so many different instances where there's so many circumstances where like the best possible person is not put up for the job. Come on, that is absolutely unimaginably false. You've worked in a place, so you know that can't be the truth.
In e-sport, that's super hardcore true. I don't know. Nepotism is fucking massive. It's
closest
huge.
place that you can. The closest, which brings me back to my point about, sports. The closest you can get to a truly meritocratic system is sports, organized sports, at the professional level. And even those guys still have unions. And that's part of the reason why they can make such demands. They can have such highly valued contracts. But never forget, if LeBron James is worth $100 million, or if he generated if he has a $100 million wage, right? Let's say he doesn't, but whatever.
Yeah.
His boss, the guy who owns the fucking team, is making billions.
But I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, these guys are valuable in a lot of ways. Not only on the field when they throw the basket into the basketball. Okay, these are valuable in terms of jersey sales, advertising, marketing, brand connection. They're a vehicle for a lot of their fucking sponsors and whatnot. This is how it is. Sometimes even some of these stars, they're
but the fucking owner's not doing shit. The owner just has money. That's the point. The owner's not doing the marketing. The owner's not doing anything meaningful. Elon Musk is not doing anything fucking meaningful at Twitch. I mean, he's demonstrated that over and over again. All he's doing is tweeting old ass fucking 9gag
All
memes.
you do, Hassan, is state problems when you fail to state a singular instance of a solution.
That's great.
What is the solution?
Thank you for asking.
I
think that.
Well, socialist system
the solution isn't necessarily enough either, right?
No, well, do you want me to give you an answer?
Problem.
Do you want me to give you an answer? I have an answer. Thank you so much for asking. My solution to the current ongoing problems is by starting as small as you possibly can and creating a mechanism of pushback. Because the workplace principle of united you bargain, divided you beg is true across every facet of society. So the only way to do that is by unionizing your workplace and ensuring that you have some level of workplace protections. Now, that might allow you to be able to fucking sleep on the job every now and then. But ultimately, the people that actually generate zero value and yet take all of the rewards are sleeping every goddamn day, and society expects them to sleep because they're shareholders, and shareholder value is supremely important. So much so that there is literally legal restrictions called the fiduciary responsibility. But you have to care about improving
profit. In a workplace that was unionized or not? Have you ever worked at a place that was usually?
I worked at a place that got unionized afterwards. But I work with unions regularly, so I'm very familiar with
unionized work.
I work with unions regularly, so I am very familiar with how they operate.
Maybe call this a coincidence or an empirical bias or anecdotal.
Bias, yes.
Every place that I worked at that was unionized was an absolute dog shit. Dog shit. That's what it is.
There are a lot of hidden benefits that you probably did not recognize. According to the NLRB, at least, unionization improves wages and benefits at the minimum. 10% increase on your wages and benefits across the board. Unionization not only benefits unionized workplaces, but unionization actually benefits non-unionized workplaces because it's still through competition forces other places to also improve their wages. Now, in countries like France, for example, there are such over-encompassing collective bargaining agreements that encompass the entire fucking sector that it quite literally is the reason why they have all these fucking benefits that they take for granted. like having a retirement age at 62, which is like laughable if you consider it from, the U.S. perspective.
Can I ask you this
Go ahead.
without stirring any, without ruffling any feathers or whatever the fuck, right? So we are in agreement, right, that Twitch's, whether it stems from Amazon, its parent company or not, Twitch's splits regarding sub revenue for its creators, whether it's the small creators to mid-sized creators, are completely fucking unfair
Mm-hmm.
and are disgusting, right?
Absolutely.
So I think this is where our disconnect is, right? What I feel like would be consistent with what you preach, which I agree with.
I know what you're
and
going to
think-
say.
Yeah, shouldn't you spearhead at least, right? I'm not saying give up everything you have. You don't need to do that. That's a ridiculous expectation. But at least spearhead and put up, something and kind of spearhead that movement against them, even though instead you're contracted with them, so you can say nothing because you're in fear of losing the very contract.
That's not true. I'm very openly critical about this, and not only have talked to Dan directly about my criticisms, but also am a firm believer that I shouldn't be the only person that has the capability of talking to Dan
I'll join you.
about these
I'll
sorts of
join you.
issues.
Yo, Busta, were you there in the meeting with the executives or not?
No, I actually had a
can-
one-on-one meeting because I had a one-on-one motherfucking
Something
meeting
can
with
be
him.
done, right? But nothing's being done because the
Yeah,
contract-
you thought you got me there, didn't you?
I talked to all the executives. Listen.
Yeah.
We were all there. Okay, listen.
No, I wasn't
They said-
there. I had a one. I think I had another.
Listen. You know for a fact when they changed the sub revenues back, right? They leveled out the total amount with the ad, you're getting better ad revs and ad incentives.
Yeah.
For your lower sub rate, right? If they said nothing, they could have said nothing about ad revs and put your sub money way up, and you would have your, oh guys, I got my sub rev. You would be at a raw loss compared to right now's equivalency. You would have been
Yeah, no,
losing
Twitch
money
streamers now
if
make
you got
more.
what you wanted.
Twitch streamers now make more money off of ad revenue than they would have if they just had subscribers. I personally still think that they should leave
this
that
idea
option.
Of this idea of a trade-off is ridiculous. That because they gave a little bit more ad revenue, it justifies the taking of the.
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't.
Absolutely.
Train, I agree with
Yep.
you. I agree with you.
It's
You
leveled
and I are in
out.
agreement.
That's like a platform saying, "Oh, we're gonna give you 20%, right?" Which is unfair, and then saying, "Oh, you know what? We'll give you 30," and everyone goes, "Oh, yes, you gave us more. You didn't have to." No, it is fucking they started at a ripoff rate, and they gave you another rate to make it look like it's better, but that's also a ripoff rate. Do you understand?
Yes.
He's right.
Yes.
It's
but
presented disingenuously. That it's disgusting. It's pure
still-
greed and pure.
it's still leveled out though. It ended up being the same thing or better. It ended up being
No,
a
the
raw
ad
cost.
the increased ad should not come at the cost of sub splits being cut. That's ridiculous. The increased ad should come if the site's business model is executed correctly.
Speaking of
Sub-
ads, at the
taking
top of the hour, there's a
sub-revenue,
3-minute ad break. If
it
you no
is
longer want to see
a
those ads, all you need to do is
small
subscribe,
percentage of revenue that does
which you
not-
can do for
it doesn't
$5 or for
affect
free on the Twitch
anything,
Prime,
anything,
or
you
by getting
understand?
gifted a
It's pure
sub.
greed and stupidity.
Woo!
It's pure
I'm
greed
on
and
fire
stupidity.
with these
Always
motherfucking
agreed with
segues
that.
today, boy. God damn.
The problem is servers are incredibly expensive and people don't run ads. There's a reason why they didn't. At the time, I didn't run it. Now they're automatic.
So instead of punishing the
Underco-
creator, they need to find a better system instead of taking from the creator's sub revenue. Do you understand? They need to find a better system to execute the ad.
Want that?
I
Then
don't-
they're going to have a
It's not
built-in.
about- it's not about what I want, it's what's
4-minute
right.
ad deal, right? Then sure. Then Twitch, you know what you do? They should force 3 minutes on all channels to pay for the servers. And then
Okay,
you're
can
gonna
I
have your
explain something
nine-
to you guys? Can I explain
ahead.
something to you guys? The main point of contention here should be that none of the people that actually provide value to the product, whether it be the people working at Twitch or whether it be the people that are on camera every day, work Omegalol, are having a say in the way that this distribution is done. That
they're
is
wrong.
undemocratic. I believe that even if you arrive at the same exact fucking idea at the end of it, where we say, you know what, we like this distribution, I think that people who are playing a role in the creation of this product should have a say. That is my point.
if we listened to streamers on how this shit should be run, this shit would have the lights turned off and Amazon would have pulled out
There has
years
to
ago.
be that's why they're
Streamers are bricked. They shouldn't.
listen,
it's not
they're
just
fucking
streamers.
Brain dead.
this idea where it has to be one or the other is the issue. Do you understand? There can be a middle ground. There can be a
Train is right.
a
Train
coming
is
of
fucking
a
right.
compromise. You
Because
understand?
why? Because why? When they made that distribution, they wanted to improve their profit margin. Why did they improve their profit margin? Because Amazon wants the profits to go up, because right now Twitch is in the red, because web serving is very web hosting for live streamed video, an inventory that is untapped basically with so many opportunities to fucking run ads, is currently not running enough ads and giving them enough revenue. That is why they made this change.
They
Now
are
ultimately
punishing
streamers
the
will make
worker
more.
on their failed system. Do you understand? They need to come together and find a system which doesn't punish the work. Where are they taking the punishment? Do you understand? Aside from these firings, which you'd argue is also another form of the worker taking the hit. They need to better their
Yes.
their
In that
business
case,
model. Do you understand? Everyone that's taking a hit
you
because their
have-
shit business model is the worker. That is a mistake. Do you understand? It is wrong. Shit like that should be fought against. We should have voices, whether it's on a panel, whether it's at a round table. We need to have voices to combat that. That's bullshit. You understand? That's greed. That's unfair.
We tried
It's not right.
talking to them. You know what? You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Okay, that streamers are fucking dumb. At the meetings, the only feedback we got from fucking big names, and like Tele1 is, where's the 20-minute ad button? Is the fucking feedback he gave them. We're all fucking brain
That's
dead.
insane.
Because the power can't be, right? Like the issue is this, right? For some reason, all of our issues are fought with two polarizing viewpoints, right? We either have all the way over here or all the way over here. We need to have a ground of, right, a place of discourse where we can come in the middle and say, okay, you know what, let's compromise. Let's grab,
Fair.
the shit that we need to do here. Hey, we'll take that L. We'll take that. But we're going to need this. These guys go, okay, well, we're going to need this, but we're going to take this. We go, okay, we've come to an agreement. That's what needs to happen. But this idea where they take, and it has to be this or this is our issue in everything today. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Everything having to be one side or the other is an issue.
The
It causes so
last-
much divide.
And meanwhile,
You're right,
while we're
you're right,
having
you're
this
right.
back
The
and forth,
last-
while we're having this back and forth, you know who's not taking a fucking hit, dude? The bosses, the people that have Amazon stock, the fucking wealthy Jeff Bezos. He don't give a fuck. He's caked up, okay? It doesn't even matter to him.
Because they make money off the fucking bots
Hey.
at the Amazon fucking delivery service that are working with crazy conditions with profit, and then they acquired Twitch, right? But Twitch, this shit is broke. This shit isn't turning a profit. Well, where do you live in this operation that makes a profit? For them, it's an investment.
Twitch is
This shit-
Twitch is not turning profit exclusively because Amazon literally treats Twitch as a money-making operation instead of offering it more favorable video hosting fucking server
For
costs.
AWS and IBS, yes.
Yeah, Amazon could internally swap over if Amazon truly cared about Twitch being a
What
profitable
kind of
venture.
argument
They
is
could literally
that?
swap over server costs to offset it off of one of the many other profitable ventures that they have. They're not
Bro.
doing that because they don't want to do that because they want to increase the pressure on content creators and maybe even possibly take a risk on making the content unwatchable by delivering even more ads to the fucking viewers.
Bro, that's like me saying, yo, I grow my garden green beans and I sell green beans at the market, right? Well, now I hired 20 employees to build houses, right? But we're not doing a profit because I'm feeding them green beans I could be selling. Well, in that case, just
Wait, that's
don't
precisely.
sell them
Wait,
the
wait,
green
wait,
beans
wait.
then.
That's how all business works.
What?
No, that's how all business works. That's how all business works. What you're describing is quite literally how businesses work, regardless. Now, either it could be funded by this like endless money supply of constantly fucking raising funds with the ultimate goal of like turning profits someday, whether it be by monopolizing a certain sector like Amazon has done in the form of e-commerce, or any other way by making a competitive product that people actually want to fucking buy. That is literally what businesses do. That's why they fucking take an L year over year over year over year. You think Amazon gives a fuck about Twitch ultimately? You think they're in it for like the love of the game? You think they bought Twitch because they think like, oh man, Jeff Bezos just really loves live streaming. That's why he did it.
For Amazon, this whole thing would be over. This is a money sinkhole. if it wasn't for
It's not a money
Amazon,
single. It's
Twitch
a
would be
bet.
GG by now.
It's a bet. It's a bet that Amazon has made, thinking, and I think that I agree with their assessment of the situation. It's a bet that they've made. Okay, they think that they can monopolize the live streaming space. Amazon only does vertical and horizontal integration. They only monopolize. They don't do anything else. They don't have any other interest. They don't have any other goals. That's all they want to do. They want to corner the market so they can set the fucking prices, slowly but surely increasing the fucking wages or maybe lowering the quality of the output. Okay, that's how they did it on e-commerce, and that's like they literally drove small business out of work and then bought them for pennies on the dollar. And that's precisely what they're trying to do with the live streaming space, ultimately so they can just eke out more profits when they are the premium live streaming destination.
As much as we should fight to remodel the initial interest, right? And try to make it better, right? I think we can still acknowledge that they bought the thing, right? And overall, what did we get? We got Prime subs and shit, right? We got to keep the lights on and continue this like passion project, right? So yes, we should push, right? But still acknowledge the fact that the lights are still on, that we can still do this shit. When will people understand this?
The idea that
Amazon, this will be over by now.
The idea that like there's no other way to do live streaming services, I think without like Big Daddy Amazon is not a correct notion in my opinion.
Oh, who else then?
I
Zuber tried it. Own it, I tried it. Who else tried it? Hitbox.
YouTube is doing it currently.
Because it's the same thing as Amazon, but they already have the fucking servers because of how much video content that they had and their workload. They already had the servers. That's
you know who's doing it? That motherfucker sitting next to me on my screen. That guy's doing it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. Fucking.
Wait, I'm doing what? Sorry,
Bro, I'm fucking juicing up Kick so hard. Okay, once you figure out the regulation on the platform, it's over. It's a wrap. I'm ready for that $100 million contract so I can start preaching the laurels of capitalism.
completely new.
Really?
He's not even listening.
Yeah. It's
When
completely
was
new.
that? When I was at the club, I heard something else, but maybe.
Yeah. So initially that was the plan, but we decided to completely recreate everything because we thought that platform's brand was just like we thought like that was too far. That was like kind of trash.
What?
You know
What are you
what I'm
talking? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Nah. We were talking about the network infrastructure for fucking Kick. So I knew. I
think video XUC is not wrong though. I do think that video service, video hosting is incredibly expensive. They just haven't been able to figure out the best possible product of making it work. Like there's so much inventory that you are literally not monetizing right now. That's why they want.
I wish
ads.
I could tell you our plan regarding certain like sponsors, and everyone keeps thinking, oh, you're gonna do porn or Trojan sponsors. No, that those sponsors pay absolute shit rates, so that wouldn't cover anything at all close to what we need it to. Like it's just targeting the correct.
Well, listen.
It's targeting the correct sponsors and the correct advertisers, right? So people are gonna jump and. People are going to jump and say gambling. That's not it either. And I think when we get ads, I think you'll understand where we're coming from. Like once that happens in the next 2 to 3 years, that's when people will understand, that business model and that approach. But anyways, I think before you speak, XQC, I think you and I agree on a lot, I think we agree with almost everything as far as like, the politics go. Obviously, I'm a little bit more middle. I believe in the polarizing sides are actually the reason we're where we are in today's world. I think it's just divide and conquer for each respective side. Obviously, given the left is a lesser evil, but I think once you justify lesser from greater, things can start getting real fucked up. But anyways, to get to my point, I just think that we need to find better ways, right? So for the streaming thing, right? For the smaller to mid-sized creators getting fucked, like I do think that if we came together or whoever it might be, it's not just on you, right? It could be a multitude of streamers, right, that come together and spearhead something that gives a voice, and not only gives a voice, but actually, right, for me, it's the action over the words. We need to push for ways where we're actually getting shit done, because preaching isn't enough, especially if from the preaching we're gaining, right? It's fine. Like to say that we shouldn't gain from the preaching, I think is an unrealistic standard and unfair. But I think if we're in a position where we're preaching and gaining, we need to take it one step further and try and bring that action into it to see actual change come through. Now, it may seem impossible as individuals, but I do think we're powerful enough to make these things happen. And that's what I like to see. So maybe in the future, you and I will get together and we'll come up with some crazy shit.
Bro,
and we'll get
you're
shit done.
sounding a lot like socialists right now. It's weird, man.
You're gonna have to talk to Mr. Bezos, okay?
Who's
Because
that?
fucking Jeff Bezos, man. You have to talk to him about it, man. Because
No, we're
listen,
not talk to him, bro. We have our own leverages.
Listen,
Trust me.
listen. The thing is though, is that I do agree though. I do agree that there needs to be some change. In my opinion, I don't think a lot of people are evil at the top. Is that monetizing and keeping the lights on for live stream operations and esports operations is incredibly difficult, and we just don't have the answers, and they don't have them either.
They don't have it. Yeah. No, I'm in agreement with you there. And I think that is a literal product problem.
Yes,
what you're
it is.
describing is one that a more democratized system of governance would genuinely benefit from. More
Yep.
ideas in this regard, and different ways to like incorporate people into whatever kind of like monetizable products that we can put forward
Yeah.
is literally the way forward. In my opinion, it's the best way to do it. And that is,
And-
and that's never going to happen because,
Brother-
you know, that's just not how the system is designed.
We can make a, you know what? We can make a parallel with this with esports. I wish people sat down and understood this fucking problem. Okay, esports fucking sucks dick. Okay, why? Because people don't buy shit, and they're not doing a profit because they are having problems monetizing their operations. So we're gonna go at fucking Riot Games. Yo, we bought a spot in the fucking in the franchise of Valorant, and we can't make money, and it's your fault. No. They don't have the answers. Nobody does. They have failed as an entity, as a product, to turn their operations into making money for the people that watch, the fans. It just sucks. They don't have the answers, and there's nobody to blame
It's
for that.
because the answers
how it is.
don't lie in each respective extreme side. I'm telling you, I know I sound like a fucking crazy centrist. I'm telling you, we need to get to a place where we abandon these fucking sides and come in the middle and grab the best of both. I know this sounds idealistic, but I do think it's possible. We need to operate from a place of logic and reason. And only then can we reach a point of compromise where the business can make money and not at the cost of the worker. Do you understand? This is achievable. The problem is corporate greed, and the greed of one respective side is outweighing the needs of the other. I'm telling you, the day that we come together and we operate from a more logical, reasonable place instead of a divide and conquer political bullshit place where we're fucking scaring one side from the other through fucking propaganda and bullshit, until that goes away and we come in the middle and we say, okay, you know what? We understand that, you know, maybe these policies and these, you know, whatever are necessary for the country to run, but we shouldn't adopt them at the, you know, cost of the worker. That's what needs to happen. Do you understand? The problem is we're trying to find a solution on one side. Do you understand? It's not going to happen.
True.
Do
In
you
my
understand
opinion,
that?
well, I mean, okay, yes, on top of that, I mean, I'm gonna double glaze because listen, the core concept is live streaming is the future. Okay, all of this is the future. There is infinite value in live content. People are starting to realize that, but instead of doubling down on the, let's say, investment or operations, they're doing the opposite. They're trying to make more money out of it and turn a profit in a growing field that's one tested and will continue to grow. And I think that's a problem. Somebody needs to go on the phone with Jeff Bezos, okay, and say, "Yo, motherfucker, how about give it a couple more years, right? Of more prolific creators for people to create more, to have more passion and have better job security in their field. To do this, so it grows faster and bigger,
Ultimately, yeah,
and
but
then
ultimately it should not, that decision-making process should not be left up to some motherfucker, in your words, that doesn't know anything about this process, and that's the point. Or like dickheads that are fucking 65 years old and still use like a payphone. You know what I mean? Because those are the guys who are at the tippy top. Those are the guys who are making the decisions on what happens. When Jeff Bezos was in that fucking in that monopoly meeting in front of Congress, they were like, They asked him about Twitch, and he's like, "What's Twitch?" They asked him about DMCA and music and Twitch, and he was like,
Hassan,
"Twitch, let me
you're a
go through my
hypocrite.
notes."
You're being a hypocrite.
Wait, what?
Why are you making fun of the old fucking bones that are brain dead? Instead, sit down with them and educate them. They would love. Jeff Bezos is getting old. You know that you would
Wait,
love to have.
bro, that's what I'm saying. But the point is, the only people who can like get access to them and educate them, which is precisely what I said, is someone like myself. And it shouldn't be that way. That our understanding should be dramatically different. That like everyone
because
everyone plays a
the thing that
role,
is
and everyone
needed.
should have a little bit of a say. It doesn't mean that like the janitor is going to do fucking brain surgery in the hospital. It just means that as far as sanitation goes, they have that covered better than the fucking surgeon would know. That's the point. And a part of that is about a fairer distribution of profits after all things are discussed clearly. That's
Okay.
it.
Then how do I make Dan Clancy call up Jeff Bezos and have me? Yo, I'm gonna go to his yacht and explain to him all these content, and then
I
Twitch
feel
is
like
in
Dan
5 minutes.
Clancy is probably better off never talking to Jeff Bezos, because if Jeff Bezos even was made aware of Twitch as a platform, I feel like he would just eviscerate us. He'd probably laser Dan Clancy off of his fucking yacht in his like little mecca that he has, and then he would just shut down Twitch in its entirety. So it's better. The less he knows about us, the better it is, I think.
Bro, I could have this grandiose speech. Bro, people need to understand that live content is the genuine future of media. It is a dank, has infinite possibilities in all realms that they can even fathom. Live content. So why are they cutting its legs off before we can start running it?
By the way, notice how we're talking about Jeff Bezos, even though he's not even the fucking CEO anymore. It's Andy Jassy that's now the CEO. Remember, that's what's important, because you know who's making money off of Twitch? Or if Twitch doesn't really make that much money, but you know who's making money off Amazon? Jeff Bezos. Why?
Yeah.
That motherfucker hasn't been doing shit since he decided to turn this into like an online
Yeah.
library system.
Bro, I thought he gave half of his shit to his wife.
Yeah, well, he did, and then she's now using it on charity overall, which for some reason it still hasn't solved our economic inequality. But again, it doesn't fucking matter. He's still minting.
So wait. So who's at the top now? And I was
Andy Jassy is now the new CEO of.
Who is that?
Amazon.
Andy Jassy?
I think he was on a different part. He was working on a different part of Amazon beforehand.
Is he rich?
Yeah, he was the Amazon. He was the SVP, the strategic vice president, and the CEO of AWS before that, from 2003 to 2021, which is like the most important product that they have. So that's why they put him that's why they elevated him to the CEO position.
Bro, he's not even a billionaire. Bro, Jeff Bezos is like a trillionaire. He can literally fucking fix the world, man. It's way more valuable to talk with this guy to fix Twitch than this fucking guy that only has 300 mil. He's broke. How is he gonna fix it?
Jesus, I'm richer than that guy. I'm just kidding. But anyways, realistically speaking, listen, I think at the end of the day, we just need to.
Yeah, I think you guys both have like I have a lot of money, okay, in comparison to the average person, but I think like your perception is a little bit warped about wealth overall, okay? Like,
Well, how is he gonna fix Twitch, which is the future of the world?
How much money you got? Like
Like
10, 20 mil? You got at least 30 mil in the bank, yeah?
dude, you're fucking insane.
I'm fucking with you. I'm totally fucking with you.
Oh,
If I had to put a number on it, I'd say like after taxes, maybe like a cool 6 mil in the bank. There's no shot.
brother, you are. Yeah, no, yeah, 6. That's like half of what I have actually. I've tripled that.
I'm confused.
My man.
Yeah,
Bro, you know
no,
what I mean, though?
man. 6 is
Okay.
so.
Bro,
Bro, people think I own a fucking, like, people think I bought this house like literally cash. Like, look, like I said, I have a lot more
It's
money than the
actually-
average
well,
person.
to be fair,
I've literally put a fucking down payment and bought it with a mortgage. Like, I have a mortgage.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
paying.
to be fair, that would be stupid of you to purchase that entire house with full cash, right? Like, if you had that kind of money, it's, there's other ways you would go about that. So technically
you
speaking,
lose purchasing power and other things. That's not good.
No, I
Which
know.
I guess
but
you would
I'm saying
argue
that people that
falls
were
right back
chirping
into
at me
the-
and still chirp at me all the time literally are like, why don't you take the $3 million and like and live in a cardboard and instead pay $3 million to me.
I bought the house as cash. It was cheap as fuck. I didn't give a shit.
Those extreme takes are unfortunate and unfair. Realistically, listen, bro. One of these days, you and I will get together. We'll create some sort of system or push for one, right? Not a charity, something where we actually advocate for something and push for something and get it done to match the words. And then the next thing you know, who knows? Maybe we'll be president and vice president. We'll be running the country. God knows.
Yeah,
Who knows what happens from this point?
I doubt that anyone's letting me be anywhere near real power. But
Brother,
but it's been look. I've been live for 10 hours.
Wait, hold on. If Donald Trump made it, listen. Okay, anything's possible.
Yeah, because Donald Trump is right wing. It's infinitely easier to be a fucking clown ass and be right wing. Like as far as like Joe Biden's criticisms, which he deserves many of. Like he also is like kind of fucking conservative, but he still went through the proper fucking ranks in the Democratic Party. He advocated to fucking melt the poor.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate
criminal.
for this.
He was the architect of the crime bill.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I really, really I'm telling you, the only future I see where we're actually progressing as a society is the one where a centrist is in charge. And I'm not talking about some spineless centrist. I'm referring to one that's guided by logic and reason. I truly believe it. These political sides are both just fucking. I'm telling you. Listen,
Bro.
y'all can hate me. Listen, just wait. In 20 years, there'll be a fucking statue of me.
Bro,
okay? I'm
there's
telling
no. Dude,
in my opinion, if you're full left on both economics, politics, socioeconomic, if you're full left or full right,
we have a
across
centrist
the
in
board
charge.
on all topics. You know what? I think you are a radicalized moron. No way everybody accepts all the concepts of like being left or right and all of them. No shot. It's a mix of both. People are delusional thinking that people are going to be pure left or pure right. That makes no sense at all. So stop.
We already have a centrist in charge. His name is Joe Biden. He has always consistently been one of the most conservative Democrats, like even keeled in the middle of the fucking political spectrum the entire time. Hillary Clinton was definitely a centrist
but I'm not
too.
referring to a centrist in that light. I'm referring to a centrist in a light of like policies and politics, right? Taking from both areas, right?
Like what? What would you like? This is a conversation that I have with people on the right all the time. It's like I would love to know what is a right wing value that you think it should be implemented.
Well, this we can save for the podcast.
Okay.
Or should we,
well, I gotta
give us one. Give us a taste, man.
Yeah, I want to hear from XQC too. He's the one who's saying radicalizing dumbass Andy is what he said.
Utopia Andy goes saying,
Okay. No, don't listen to that. Just tell me what you think is a right wing value that we should implement.
Bro, I don't even know what values there are overall. I don't watch the news. I just
Then why are you saying that? You Pepega motherfucker.
Guns, and I think guns.
What about guns?
No,
What's it?
people that are right, don't they want like more guns and shit like that?
Yeah, they want everyone to be armed. You want everyone to be armed?
Okay, not everyone.
Okay, that's not a right wing value then. You want reasonable restrictions on guns, but you want people to be able to shoot guns if they want to?
I think
You're a radical communist now.
Genuinely, people that want, that have the ability and know and want to spend the time knowing how to use a gun should be allowed to have a gun, right? I think
Fine.
they should focus on fixing the people.
Okay. Quick question. It is not a gotcha, okay? Because I think you and I are in agreement on this.
I can answer after, by the way.
Do you think that there should be restrictions akin to a driver's license, like licensing system on the ownership of guns? Like if you want to get a gun, you can be able to get a gun. You should be able to get a gun, but you have to demonstrate that you know how to use it and demonstrate proper safety measures.
Fuck yeah! What the fuck?
You're a radical. You're a radical psychotic leftist. What the fuck? You are literally Mao and Stalin and Karl Marx together. That's how these dumb motherfuckers in America operate. You just said exactly what I believe with respect to gun control. That is not a right-wing value, motherfucker. That's a left-wing value, technically, with respect to how Americans operate. You're fucking Canadian, dog. What kind of right-wing attitude do you have? Give me another one.
If you don't have gun etiquette, okay, if you purchase a gun and you know nothing about it, it is more of a threat to everybody and yourself than your target. That's just what it is.
Yeah, you're right, because it's common sense. It should not be a left-right thing. It should be the most understandable thing. And yet it's a left-right equation because people make it into a political issue. You and I are in agreement, and most Americans would agree as well. 90% of Americans believe in universal background checks, but we can't get them. You want to know why? Because there's one thing that's more important than whatever the Democratic Party claims or whatever the Republican Party claims. That's all fucking theater. That's all bullshit. You know what's important? Making money. You know who makes money? Gun manufacturers. You know what they don't want? Any kind of fucking restriction on who can get a gun. Okay? So they literally play this fucking song and dance over and over again after like a bazillion fucking children get slaughtered at schools where they go, the left supposedly goes, oh, fuck, we can't do anything about this. Oh, my God. And then the right goes, what?
Okay.
And then the right goes, nah, fuck that. What we need is more guns. We need to arm the teachers.
Well. In this case, though, let's stop shaving off the responsibility. The person that commits a stupid ass act, it's their fault. Let's
Wait, what? What do you think? It's not fucking legally liable? Of course. Yeah, of course they should go to jail. Yeah, like if that's what you think.
No, I said. You're twisting my word.
Wait, what are you saying?
The responsibility is the fucking person that does this dumbass shit, right?
Yes.
I think finding a billion things to blame, it doesn't help anybody. It's the people are brain dead, corrupt, idiotic, fucking psycho Andy. It's the what is it that I'm saying that is wrong?
Okay, you're correct. It is still up to the individual to do like heinous acts, and you're not wrong on that. I agree. Okay, but you understand that like the regulation that we're talking about is a necessity regardless, because no matter what happens, people are always going to do some fuck shit, right? People are always going to be crazy. So what you're supposed to do is at least try to limit the amount of crazy as best as you possibly can. And that's one form of restriction that you can implement that is common sense that a lot of people would agree with. The same thing is like a car, right? A car is a very dangerous thing, right? Sometimes you can even have like a very expensive car that's cut in half. You know what I mean?
A car's a weapon. A car's a weapon.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
Car's a weapon. Even if it's half of a car, it's still a weapon. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So how is that a leftist ideology to want people to not be a fucking brain dead, psycho, crazy, fucking double twisted brainstem Andy to own a gun? I don't get it.
I think a better.
Look. I like guns. I like shooting guns. We shot guns together. You know, I like shooting guns.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I just think that.
Give me another one.
No, wait. Listen. Let me, instead of getting into these controversial topics, like.
Okay, give me a right wing. Give me a right wing policy train.
Yeah. I'll give you one, and then we'll save the rest. We'll save this conversation for like a podcast, because obviously you're way more like versed in this information. But I think a good one that could work in conjunction, right, with a compromise of left-wing values such as healthcare and education. If we can find the mixture between the two.
Okay, what's a right-wing value on healthcare or education that you agree with?
No, wait. I'm saying that what I'm about to say, if we find a way to make it work with compromise in conjunction with a healthcare system for the people who can't afford it, that should be a basic right. An education system that pushes for educating the average citizen, right? It's
none of what you described is a right-wing value.
No, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you the value that should work in conjunction with the left-wing values. So it'd be smaller government and a more efficient government, right? So that would be like a right-wing value. Hello?
You want a smaller government, which
a more efficient government.
You want a more efficient government
in conjunction with leftist programs or leftist policies.
Got it. Love that. Agreed. As far as smaller government goes, okay. None of these right-wing motherfuckers actually give a shit about smaller government other than deregulation. They love saying smaller government because that means lowering taxes and deregulation. Yes. What does deregulation
I would agree
do?
They don't live up to the value of that. But
yes,
that feels more like a red herring. Like what I'm saying is, I feel like we should, if we can have that smaller and more efficient government, right? Like reduce the bloating and all the bullshit, right? If we can have that work in conjunction with the systems of government that help the people,
buzzing,
right?
Bro.
Am I buzzing? That compromise.
Yeah, you are buzzing.
I'll reset it right here. That compromise would be a good example of taking a right-wing value, taking a left-wing value, and putting them together, finding a compromise that's efficient.
No, what you're describing is like an anarchist formation anyway, but it doesn't even matter because here's why. Because when you said you want to offer everybody education, that still has to be funded by the government, right? One of the biggest hurdles right now with respect
That's
to
why I
like
think that there's
educational
gonna be a middle
equality.
ground. A middle ground between the two, I think, would be
Okay,
would
but
be
like
good, right?
the issue currently with respect to like educational quality or healthcare quality and the outcomes that people have and the disparity that revolves around wealth disparity directly is a consequence of a lack of regulation for the government. If there was more regulation, here's a good example of regulation that you
that's
would
exactly
like.
what we need, though,
regulation
right?
in the form of price controls for things like
We
insulin.
need the auditing
the reason
of each
why
branch of government, right? The auditing
Okay.
of each branch of government. Like these kind of things need to be implemented.
Okay, but
for the exact
so
reasons
the
you're stating.
auditors would be more government though. So you have unironically
why-
advocated for more
No, but
government now.
that's why in a more efficient government for a smaller government, those parts of the government can stay while other parts go, right? And what those parts that go are, we can go further into like on another conversation. But I do think that is a good middle ground, right? Taking a more efficient government, right? Keeping the branches and adding branches that audit, that regulate, that make sure there is no bullshit, spending and bloating and all that bullshit that's going on, and then implementing it with leftist values of government. Right. If we can find that perfect
where's the
middle
bloat
ground,
though? A lot of what you're just basically describing is get rid of the military. Like that's one form of bloat, if that's what you're saying. Right wingers consider a form of bloat to be when you are no longer a productive worker, like when you retire, when you're in retirement age, where you're no longer a productive laborer. You shouldn't be able to get Social Security.
Sir,
like that.
sir,
What?
I watch the media on Twitter. Okay, this is new. I get my news from Twitter. How come leftist radicalized cockroaches are like spend $0 on military, stop spending on military, lol, stop. And then, so that happens in Ukraine and another country. Please help them fast. Use all the.
It's because
How
of
does that
your
make sense?
misunderstanding of what it means to be a leftist or a liberal. These are considered to be like in the same bucket. Okay, that's what it is. That's why. Look, the amount of people that are saying true in your chat is so funny. I know none of these motherfuckers watch me now. This is what I know.
I'm trying to understand.
No,
where
liberal.
do they
That's what I'm
think money
saying.
will
Because
appear?
liberals and Republicans ultimately align on certain values, especially when it comes to an inflated military budget. So there is no dissent on America's endless spending on the military. That's it. That's literally.
When something pops off, then what do they send? Some fucking guy on a Vespa with a fucking Glock or some shit? Who's gonna help then?
There are very
help.
few people. There are very few people who are in support of like genuinely and significantly defunding the United States military. There's none. That's not a real thing. Like most of the New York Times readers who are liberals, like they still absolutely are advocating for still spending as many dollars as possible on the U.S. military, including all the money that you send over to Ukraine. Because ultimately, you know who makes money off that? Raytheon. You know who makes money off that? Northrop Grumman. You know who makes money off that? Boeing. Those are the motherfuckers who are actually making money. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that's subsidized by our tax dollars that we pay for the R&D side for them to make new weapons, and then we send those weapons into Ukraine. We give money to Ukraine to buy the weapons that we
You need weapons. They need to have. Well, I mean, isn't it like it's like the Cold War? They need to have the big weapons to flex the big weapons. Otherwise, some actual guy will actually build a big weapon. They'll be like, "Well, you guys don't have weapons that are as good as mine. Well, I'm about to fuck you guys over." Boom, and then boom. What do you think the Cold War was? What do you think going to the moon was? They went to the moon. Why? So they can show, yo, we have air superiority. We can go to space. We can fucking yoink this shit, right? That's what the whole Cold War was about. You're gonna disintegrate the value of the Cold War.
You just described the arms race between fucking you just described all of our dollars basically being dumped into the military industrial complex.
Well, they have no other choice, I think.
No, they did it.
They let China build a fucking
okay.
scope
Fun
and
fact.
headshot
One
people
fun
across
fact
the
I'll give
universe.
you. One fun fact I'll give you about nuclear proliferation. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's like now declassified and very openly talked about. But the CIA openly lied about how many arms the USSR had, so that they could justify additional spending on defense strategies and systems like that. So the nuclear arms race, at least on one front, was built around a lie, like an abject lie. So
why do people want to purposely be on the low ground then? You want to be controlled by the fact that other countries that have more arms and they can control you and they control what you do because they're on the high ground. If they have more shit than what they GG. Then people that are wrong and have bad ideologies in the world and that they have the high ground, then they can do whatever they want, right?
Okay, this is a wonderful question. Here's the answer. Okay, Society is divided along class lines, and that the worker in fucking Russia and the worker in the United States of America have literally the same exact interests from their workplace and the way that they fucking generate value and the relations they have to the means of production, which is precisely the reason why, if there were more worker control over these sorts of things, we would be able to, at the very least, start the process of thinking about the world in a very different way that doesn't revolve around made up fucking national borders and things of that nature. And we would also have a mechanism of pushback towards the powers that be, that those who actually do control everything, every facet of society.
Okay, you know what, Hassan? I think that one of the main problems with your thinking, okay, is you forget to remind yourself that humans are humans and we are just a bad, flawed species. I think you live in a world.
I agree. Wait, what do you mean? No, I completely fucking agree.
Well, it comes by that you want to reroute every brain's thinking and their core fundamentals of it, even during survival, during development, so that people think in those ways. There is people will default back to not thinking these ways.
You remember how you said? You remember how you said the boss built the factory? When I corrected you and I said workers built that. When people talk about the iPhone, they're like, "Oh, you have an iPhone, socialism, Vuvuzela, Venezuela." Workers built that. That is a core principle that has been instilled upon you. When in fact, every single thing that you take advantage of, every single thing that you use, has been created through collectivism. Like, many hands have touched every single aspect of your existence, and we don't even take that for granted. We don't even think about that. And that's and the reason why we don't think about it is because capitalism has basically created this social reinforcement that it's actually the capital owners that are the most productive. It's the Jeff Bezos of the world that deserve all the wealth. They're the ones who created everything. That's precisely the reason why you think like everyone is a rugged individualist and out for themselves and really fucking stupid. When in fact, when we get together, even if we have major disagreements on issues, we can still unite on certain values, like I don't know, offering people health care. I'm not saying we're going to fix society tomorrow. I'm not saying that these are the perfect ways to fix society, but I'm simply stating that there are existing examples right now in the world that we can take from here in the United States of America at the heart of the imperial core and basically moved in that direction. And that would genuinely, truly improve the lives of so many people, poor people, destitute people, people living in fucking poverty, especially immigrants. We could do that. We have the capacity. We're the wealthiest nation on earth, and yet we choose not to. You want to know why? Because someone is always trying to earn a fucking tidy profit.
You know what you do then? They should go to president. Here's the easiest way to do it, man. You go to the president, and you make a law. You ban wills for one generation. If you die, right, all your money, it just spreads back into the system.
I love that. I love what you're saying.
They cannot give the money to their fucking to their children, right? Everybody's back. It resets the playing field back to zero. Everybody has nothing. And you know what's crazy about that? Everybody has to go back out there in the same rules as everybody else and bust their ass off, man.
No, that's that. You're what you're advocating for is actually a great idea. But again, I think Japan does that after 3 generations, as someone was saying in my chat. But yeah, you're right. You're so right about that. Like a fucking hardcore server reset. You know what I mean? Tarkov style, wipe.
Okay. All right. Let me get back at you. In my opinion, here's my slogan: bring back good parenting. I think that most of our problems I have these days, motherfucker, okay, with social media, with other things, is that people are bad parents. They suck ass, and they should not have children. There should be a ban on being dumb as fuck and having children. Sorry, I said it, man. I said it.
I think the first thing
what you're describing is something that, you know, I don't know if you know the implications of what you're saying. There some other people made that argument as well. I'm sure you didn't mean it in that way, but that is a conservative argument. You know, the ultimate conservative made that argument. It's eugenics. It's eugenics. What you're describing is eugenics. Like dumb people shouldn't have children.
Well, no. Because listen. Listen. People said, listen. I agree with this 100%. Okay. Because I was thinking, okay, I saw some sneak over there. They're like cuties. just a fucking disaster. Absolute oversight, despicable, dog shit, trash, deviant, garbanzo, right? And then it made me think. Right? If these is at Netflix, producer shows where children are sexualized and they're greenlit by these guys for it to be published, right? What are we to say about parents that let their children, because children cannot make decisions, right? Only their guardian or legal guardian, right? How come a lot of videos don't fucking say no about this? There's a crazy amount, insane, very ingrained in our culture, for people that are under 18 to sexualize themselves on the internet via social media and their posts on TikTok and other platforms. If their parents are their legal guardians and they green light and allow them to post such things, what is the difference between cuties and that as a parent? What's the difference?
I don't disagree with you. I think it's like I do think it's fucked up. I think both are fucked up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you want to go with that. I think that children do spend a lot of. I do think that children do spend a lot of time on social media, which is weird for us to be having this conversation, especially you. You're like advocating to eliminate half the fucking juicers from their juice time. You know what I mean? How the fuck are they going to sit there and watch? But
yo, I don't make people fucking go out there and sexualize themselves as fucking.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think that like it rots people's brains the amount of time that they spend on the internet.
Yeah, but in my opinion, running your brain, right, is fine. In ways that are deviant and also fuel and empower weirdos and deviants themselves is a massive problem. Also, I asked earlier, what are some concepts?
I have to pee. You're cooking though. You're fucking cooking right now. I gotta pee. I'll be back in a second. What kind of insane takes did I miss while I was pissing? That was a long.
I said
I've drank more water than I have in so long during this entire thing.
I said Kanye was right about the fucking social media posting of his children or whatever compared to Kim Kardashian, even though, but people are so ingrained in society and to their fucking phone screens and they're so terminated online, they forgot what is social media decency and we should be posting at certain ages, and they just completely sidetracked.
I think hot take. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, obviously you didn't just say Kanye was right, but I do think that like parents should be a little bit more responsible about like what their children are posting on the internet. Okay, last one. We can have this conversation again at a later date because like I am so tired. It's 10. I've been live for 11 hours.
Yeah.
You accept the right-wing core value that I gave though? Instead of arguing into it.
Smaller government? No, I think that
in conjunction with.
No, I mean, I believe in efficiency for sure, but like,
if we can combine the two, right? If we can bring the leftist, more left policies into play into the government, right, and reduce the bloating, the corruption through audited systems and shit like that, regulations, right? I think that's the compromise we'd make for those two values, right? Does that make any sense? I mean, obviously it is more idealistic.
No, we need more. I personally think we need more regulation, what we would consider to be bloat and government interference,
corruption, all that bullshit.
I think that it would be better. It would be more beneficial if the government had more bloat and more people and more funding to basically deliver the needs necessary. Because small government means corporate control.
Huh?
That's how it works.
That's the part where we make the compromise, right? So we take.
But I do believe in making the government more
good
efficient.
from both. Yeah. So if we take the good from both of those values, no. I know he's referring to something else. If we can take, right, the good of both of these values of government, right? I
Bro,
think
your mic is going crazy.
Jesus, this fucking cocksucking mic. Is it better? Hello?
Yeah, it's better that way. You know, there was a guy who believed that the ultimate need for governance could eventually wither away once a transitional socialist state had come to its, I guess, it had eradicated the contradictions. Don't fucking sleeper me, dude. Okay, I'm the one who's supposed to be sleepering. I'm about to go to sleep.
Socialism, brain rot. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah. It's brain rot. You're right.
Well, in theory, this works, and then in practice.
Am I in the middle?
No. Socialism is so demonstrably unsuccessful that America had to fucking basically intervene in every country that even wanted to socialize their natural resources. That's how demonstrable of a failure it was.
Go ahead. Ask me a question.
What's your opinion on taxing the poor? There you go.
Me?
No, not you, brother. This ex guy.
Well, I mean, I think the tax system is pretty good right now, right? The problem is the fucking tax loopholes and also I mean, the tax should be way higher for the way richer, right? But I think that the tax brackets right now are pretty decent. I do think though, that the taxes are a little bit crazy.
It's where the money is going. That's the issue.
Early brackets, I think people should be given a chance a little bit. Also, I know this is impossible to enforce, I assume, but I think when people are starting up, right, and they're starting to like go into they come out of school, right? I don't know why they are taxed the same, right, at age 25 than at age 50. The same percentages if they make the same income. How does that make sense? When you're young, you're expanding, you're coming, you debt for from college. You're just starting to fucking boom, 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 boom. And you're going to pay the same amount of taxes as somebody who has the same income, but that's like older. Bro, come on, man. You're just expanding. Why cut the legs of somebody who's trying to fucking jump like a fucking grasshopper?
If you want to know the real base take, bro, listen, here's all we need, okay? We need a socialist that's a capitalist in power. Do you understand that? That preaches both sides, both the good that can come from both, right? And that's that. So all we need, listen, all we need is we all come together and we start, practicing what we preach. And hey, we start the changes. That's it.
Yeah, we just got make systems.
That's right. I know you're memeing it and you're trolling. I'm telling you, bro, if we start, I'm telling you, you're laughing, but if we actually get the action.
Yeah, 501 Systems 3. That's how we rebrand.
Yo. Ask me again, one last thing. Ask me give me any topic that's like not even controversial, right? Like you could be right or left. Ask about it, and I'll give you my take. Without even looking at chat or anything. Go say it.
Before we do that,
do it. I'm not even canceled.
Before we do that,
Bro, I'm trying to go to sleep, dog. It's literally 10 p.m.
I'm out.
Before we do that, let's listen. Do you agree at the very least? Like you're memeing the systems thing. Do you agree at the very least that if you preach what you preach, right?
Oh no.
No, I'm not doing anything. This is coming to an end. I'm just saying, if we listen, hopefully the goal will be we'll come together, we'll start implementing some of the things he preaches, right? Whether it could be us two, it could be him and 3 other streamers, it could be whatever the case. I believe that's what it takes to lead the charge. We just need more action to follow the words, and I think big things come, right?
I agree. I agree with that. I try my very best all the time. People still yell at me nonstop.
So then this leads to this. Okay, we'll find, to make it a cute little meme to wrap it up, we'll find some systems in which we believe, right, can lead the charge in some of the ideals that we believe
How
in.
about strike funds for the LAUSD? They're striking right now in Los Angeles, advocating
let's get
for
together and create a system that will, give them.
Currently, there's an ongoing strike that's happening in Los Angeles, where the LAUSD has united alongside another union that actually pertains to special needs staff, I believe janitors as well, in the school's cafeteria staff as well, that are also united, are advocating for a strike. They're possibly trying to put together a strike so they can demand higher wages, not for the teachers themselves, as a matter of fact, but for the staff that also work at the schools. And I think that they will need some strike funds. They will need to get the word out.
How come teachers aren't paid more when they're literally shaping the future of everything? How does
That's
it
a great
question.
Sense?
That's a big issue.
That's a great question. I agree. That's incredible.
That's a big issue. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's because
Education in America, period, is an issue.
Yeah, education is severely underfunded. The Democratic Party, alongside the Republican Party, has done everything to undermine public education every step of the fucking way. It's underfunded in most places, with the exception of European social democracies, as a matter of fact. And advocacy surrounding that is almost impossible because, like I said, even the Democrats want charter schools. Republicans just want private schools with like religious exemptions where they can just like do whatever the fuck they want. And Democrats also advocate for charter schools as well. And it's really awful. It literally takes funds from the already crippling funds that public schools have, and feed them into this unaccountable third-party organization that can just shutter schools at any given basis.
Damn! Every time I hear about these, bro, as soon as things get like a lot of heavy, I'm going to. We can end the call here. This was kind of productive, to be honest, on certain grounds. Also,
It was
every time-
counterproductive or productive?
it was productive. It was productive, bro. Every time that we go deep into some topic and the big words come out, I just go.
Okay, I'll describe it with simpler terms next time. I gotta ask ChatGPT to help me.
Yeah, I mean, this Chat GPT opinion that I got right here is just on point already that you saw. Wow. Just on
All right.
point.
All right, well,
All right,
thank you
brother.
guys,
I'm out,
and
peace
I
out.
will see you tomorrow at a later date.
peace
And
out, man.
Train, you can come
Wait,
on the pod.
tomorrow
We
for
can
what?
talk about it.